Hello, friends. As I'm recording, it is December 21st, also known as the Winter Solstice, which is the shortest day of the year. Starting tomorrow, the days get longer and the nights get shorter. It's the official start of winter. And so people think of winter as a time when everything's dead. The grass is dead, vegetables are dead, trees are dormant. You know, everything's going to be dead or dormant. You're not going to... This is when you plan your vegetable garden because you're not going to be able to grow anything. You should have harvested everything. Honestly, that's not true. Now, yeah, there's a lot of stuff, you know, cold weather will kill. A freeze, hard freeze is going to kill. And I did lose some things in November when we had a freeze. But unless you live in like Canada, you know, Siberia, you know, where it's really cold, snow, you can still grow things. Now, a lot of things do need to have warmer temps to germinate. And if it's really cold, you're probably going to need a greenhouse, but you can still grow in a greenhouse. But even so, if you're living in the southern part of the United States or other parts of the world where it doesn't get super cold, where you're not already having lots and lots of snow, you can definitely still plant in the middle of winter. But no matter what, even if you get snow, if you plant when it's still warm, you could still be growing stuff today. I mean, I've been told this is, let me get where the shadow's not. I've been told this is persimmon. I don't know. The goats, they just decimate it every time I let them in there. I honestly don't know why this is still alive, because they'll eat everything on it. They'll eat the branches, you name it. But look at, it's got all these green leaves. Look at all the grass I'm growing. All the other weeds. There's vegetation everywhere. I've got parsley growing. Here's, this is spinach that I planted. Now, the other day I pulled up stuff because I'm starting to prepare this to be, well, I want the goats to come in here and just clean everything out. Clean all these weeds for me. Really take care of this so I can start a spring garden. But look I pulled up this turnip. And here's other turnips. I pulled up, well, here's a bunch of radishes in the ground. Look at all those radishes over there. They were growing in the stock tank. That stock tank sprung a leak. It rusted. And I just moved it in here and started filling it up with soil and bark and stuff for kind of a hugelkultur raised bed. And I was growing tons of radish, and I pulled them up yesterday, the day before. And once the goats clean this place out, I'm going to plant a whole bunch of lettuce and stuff and put this window back over it and start, you know, in January or whenever, January, February. I'm not sure how long the goats will be in here. But, you know, I've got a bunch more of these smaller windows. In fact, I used them last year and grew things in these tubs. And so I'll just cover them up. I could, you know, plant stuff here again and get an early garden started. But, you know, besides root crops, because of, I don't try carrots. I don't have soil depth enough. But any cold weather crop can grow. If I were just to keep trying and not let the goats in here, I would be getting a pea harvest eventually. I'm not sure when, but these are all peas. They never flowered. Having a freeze in November is unheard of. And I think that slowed things down tremendously. But these are all peas. I've got lettuce there. Now, there was a head of lettuce over in this area where the boxes are. There was not in, it was just, I don't know how the seed got there, but, and I got several salads out of it. Here's another. If I wanted to, I could pick that right now. But I don't have any other lettuce in my house, so that'd be an awfully teeny salad. So I'm just going to let the goats have it. This kale, I bought the seeds here in Kerrville at, I don't know where. And it's kind of a tough kale. I love kale that I've gotten in the grocery stores, but it wasn't as tough. I don't know if I just let this grow too long, but I want to try a different variety of kale. And I just decided it'll be good, healthy food for the goats. So I'm going to let them have it. And here's more, I don't know, turnips or something. I'm going to just let the goats clean it up. I just want this, here's a tool. I got to clean up this area. Yes, I used this a couple days ago, or yesterday, I can't remember. No, a couple days ago. And I dug up a whole bunch of, this is comfrey. And this stuff spreads. Once it gets established, it spreads and you cannot get rid of it. And it has so much medicinal use, protein. You can use it to improve your soil, improve your animals' health. If they've broken a bone or injured, wound healing, it's great. It has so many benefits. I've got bags of it dried in the house. So I've been wanting to transplant it. I tried in the summertime, but the plants didn't survive. I think it was just too hot versus the amount of water I could supply, because I have to haul it to the places I tried. Well, it's winter now, so I just transplanted a bunch of it, and I'm just going to haul water every day, and hopefully it will get really established to the point where nothing will kill it. The goats, they will clean it up. Now, I did pick up a whole bunch of leaves the other day and feed it to the other goats. They all loved it. When I open the gate, see this gate right here, I'm just going to throw it open after I clean out this place. And all those lazy goats over there just lying around waiting for me to bring them some supper, they'll come in here, and this will be one of the first things they chew. They clean up. Before the first freeze, I had red potatoes. I think it was a red potato, I'm guessing there. But I also planted some sweet potatoes in here. And there was lots of vines. And if I hadn't had a freeze, I would have been able to harvest it. And my plans were to stir fry and stuff. The potatoes were actually store-bought potatoes that had sprouted. And I just decided, for the heck of it, to plant them and see what happens. And they had all these green leaves. I knew for a fact I was not going to harvest sweet potatoes because I planted them in the fall. But hey, I got leaves, and I was going to eat the leaves if we hadn't had the dang freeze. Oh well, that happens. But I just wanted to share, if we hadn't had a freeze, I would have been eating sweet potatoes. I don't know what's going to happen. I've never tried growing sweet potatoes in the winter. And it'll be interesting to see if next year, or the spring, if I start having sweet potatoes leaves show up. If the plant roots survive. We'll see. But I just wanted to share, if you're in a warm enough climate, where freezes aren't a regular thing, you can grow crops in the wintertime. Lettuces, root vegetables, anything that is cold hardy will grow. Obviously, I can't grow watermelon right now, pumpkins right now, cucumbers, but I can grow radishes. If I planted radishes today, I would get a crop, even if we had a freeze. I mean, those radishes, they survived a multi-day freeze in November, and several more freezes since that were borderline freezes. So, and it's been only in the 40s at night. So if I planted radish seeds today, I know I'd get a crop. There's a lot I could, with a cold frame, I could be growing things right now. Lettuces and stuff. And I will, as soon as I decide the goats have cleaned this out and it is time to start over, start my spring garden, that's what I'll be planting. I'll be planting those things that can handle the cold weather. But honestly, if it wasn't for all these weeds and stuff, and I used seeds that they were old, so the germination wasn't very good. If I'd had a better germination, if I'd had more, if I saw flowers, I would not be letting the goats in right now. But between the fact that I've had such, just a few radishes, just one or two turnips, the peas didn't flower, and I've got all these weeds, and my spinach it's growing, but it's not a lot. I'm just going to let the goats in here, let them clean it up, and then after they've cleaned it up, I can start prepping for a spring garden. But even if you live in a really cold climate, look into cold frames, look into a greenhouse, even a semi where it's colder than here. Roots and Refuge, they did a video on where they just took a bag of soil and planted all these greens in there, salad greens, and then put a tote on it like a mini greenhouse. There are so many ways you can grow food, no matter what your climate is. Some ways, of course, are going to be more expensive. I mean, if you live really far north and have to build a greenhouse, it's going to cost you a lot more than me. But if you're in the southern part of the country, where it doesn't freeze all the time, really look into how could you grow some, veggies, some salad. I mean, think just salad. There's been so many recalls lately. So many. It's ridiculous. Forget buying romaine from the grocery store. It has been recalled so many times this year. And I just saw, I was on Facebook like a couple days ago, another type of lettuce is being recalled for, I think it was E. coli or something. I don't know. But they keep getting recalled. There's been bagged spinach got recalled so many times. Honestly, it's so easy to grow this kind of stuff at home. This water trough sprung a leak. So I'm using it. You can use a kiddie pole. These tubs were like a cow lick or deer lick. Probably they were left by the previous owners. So I'm thinking there was a deer lick in them. Okay? If you live anywhere where people might have those kinds of things, a kiddie pole that's leaking, or just build. They're so easy to build. If you have any construction, you could build yourself a cold frame. And then start growing lettuce and spinach and cold hardy crops so that you can have salad in the wintertime. It's pretty easy. Yeah, you're going to be limited, but there are things that can be grown in the wintertime. So I'm going to get busy. Okay, folks, it's about 4:20, and well, if you ever need to get your chickens out of your vegetable garden or your ducks, guineas, food. I went and got some food, and they all vacated the garden instantly. They came running after me. They would rather have whatever was in that bucket. Now, I still need to get rid of these two. But I can do that. I got rid of any plastic. Yeah, these buckets will be okay. They got dirt in them. I got to separate the dirt and the rocks. But plastic bags, broken pots, anything that I thought they could hurt themselves or anything that they could destroy, I removed. Things that they may find. We'll see. But I now am going to let them in. I had Prairie in. Earlier today, she wanted to go into the goat enclosure. I think she wanted to play with Sarah. I don't know. But I had her in here. And she's been in there all afternoon. I mean, there's no babies in there, so I'm not worried. So she was in there all afternoon unattended. Well, I just came and got her. So everybody came over to the fence because they're thinking I'm over here to feed them. Well, no. So they're all standing by their hay feeder. But I'm not going to feed them tonight. Instead, I'm going to let them have at it. See. Oh, I see what's the problem. This rock. Ooh, I don't remember this rock ever being here before, but it is definitely preventing the door from opening. So, but anyway, they can get in. They'll all go in. Even Sarah loves to go in there and just romp around. I'll have to get a hoe or something and get rid of that rock, because I don't remember that rock ever. I've never had a problem opening this door before. So, the first day of winter, I have chosen to let the goats eat up my garden. But I could have continued raising radishes and turnips, harvesting them for myself. I could plant more. The weather is such. I could be growing radishes and turnips and lettuce and other things all winter long. There was nothing stopping me. So I hoped that if you've never tried growing things in wintertime, that you look into it. What can you do so that you can grow lettuce? I mean, you don't want to, it's too scary to buy lettuces and spinach and stuff at the grocery store these days. They keep getting recalled over and over and over again. It's just not safe to do it. So try to find a way to grow it at home so that you know what you're growing isn't going to be contaminated and make you sick and put you in the hospital. So I hope I hope this video got you thinking and makes you reevaluate growing food in the wintertime. And I hope you had a wonderful first day of winter. And may God bless you.